Ernie was on his way to Costco to pick up medicine for his dog when an oncoming driver ignored a red left turn arrow and turned directly across his path. Ernie was traveling through the intersection on a green light, leaving him with no time to avoid the crash. The T-bone impact was so violent that it flipped his Toyota 4Runner completely over before it landed back on all four wheels. With the doors jammed shut and the windshield shattered, Ernie had to crawl out through the rear hatch with assistance from a nearby bystander. After the crash, responding officers recovered Ernie's dashcam from the damaged SUV, and he submitted the footage with his insurance claim. The video proved the other driver was at fault, despite their false claim that Ernie had run the red light. As a result, the other driver's insurance company accepted full responsibility and paid him $40,000 for his totaled 4Runner. Ernie used the settlement to purchase another 4Runner in the same color, along with an upgraded dashcam featuring both front and rear cameras. His experience is yet another example of how valuable dashcam footage can be when the facts are disputed. Jeremy's father was driving his Toyota Highlander when traffic ahead suddenly began slowing to a stop. At the same time, the driver of a white pickup truck, who appeared to be distracted, failed to notice the stopped vehicles in time and continued forward without braking. The white pickup crashed into the truck directly in front of it, triggering a chain reaction collision. That truck was pushed into another pickup, which was then forced into a sedan. In the end, 4 vehicles were involved in the multi-car crash, fortunately resulting in what appeared to be a low-speed fender bender rather than a more serious accident. Katie was less than a mile from home after a 3-hour drive when she moved into the left turn lane at an intersection. To her surprise, she suddenly found herself facing a Nissan driving directly toward her in the same lane. Traveling at around 35 miles per hour, Katie had to brake hard to avoid what could have been a serious head-on collision. After reviewing her dashcam footage, Katie realized how the mistake had happened. The Nissan driver had turned too early while passing through the intersection, ending up on the wrong side of the traffic island and entering the turn lane in the opposite direction. Judging by the driver's reaction, Katie believes they quickly realized the error and were clearly embarrassed by the situation. Paolo was driving his Subaru through an intersection when an Alfa Romeo suddenly turned across his path without yielding the right-of-way. The moment he realized the SUV was cutting in front of him, he hit the brakes and swerved in an attempt to avoid the collision. Despite his quick reaction, there wasn't enough time to stop, and his Subaru slammed into the side of the vehicle. The crash deployed Paolo's airbags and left his Subaru totaled. Although he was later diagnosed with a concussion and suffered whiplash, he was still able to call 911 after the impact. He was transported to the emergency room where X-rays confirmed that he had no broken bones. Paolo also wanted to express his appreciation to the Markham Fire Department, York Region Paramedic Services, York Regional Police, and the staff at Markham Stouffville Hospital for their fast response and the excellent care they provided throughout the ordeal. Dan was driving home late at night after dropping off a friend when he stopped at a red light. While waiting for the signal to change, he noticed a vehicle approaching from the opposite direction in a turn lane. Instead of slowing down or turning, the driver continued straight through the red light at full speed and crashed head-on into Dan's Lexus GS350. The impact was so violent that it knocked out power to his dashcam and sent his car spinning into another vehicle. Although Don escaped with no life-threatening injuries, he briefly lost consciousness after the airbags deployed. The force of the collision even snapped his glasses in half, with one piece ending up lodged between the rear seats. According to Dan, the other driver behaved aggressively after the crash and seemed unaware that he had done anything wrong, explaining only that he had just finished work and was tired. Don contacted the police and allowed them to handle the investigation. He has since hired legal representation and is waiting for the insurance claim to be resolved while receiving chiropractic treatment for whiplash. Unfortunately, his Lexus is expected to be declared a total loss. Kenya was driving home from Starbucks when a blue Hyundai suddenly made an illegal U-turn directly in front of her. With almost no time to react, she couldn't avoid the collision and struck the side of the other vehicle. After the crash, the Hyundai driver quickly secured her damaged front bumper using tape, bungee cords, or similar makeshift materials before Kenya could even take a photo of the vehicle. She then denied being responsible for causing the accident. Kenya reported the incident to the police and is now waiting to receive an estimate for the cost of repairing her vehicle.